Welcome to the first video in our series, Dealing with Debt in Estate Planning. In this video, we'll explore an often overlooked aspect of estate planning, debt. Many people focus on the assets they want to pass on to their loved ones, but understanding and managing debt is just as crucial. Debt doesn't simply disappear when someone passes away. It can have a significant impact on how your assets are distributed and the financial legacy you leave behind. This video will guide you through the basics of how debt factors into estate planning, why it's essential to address it, and the types of debt that can affect your estate. Whether you're new to estate planning or looking to refine your existing plan, this video will provide valuable insights to help you protect your assets and ensure that your loved ones are not burdened with unexpected financial obligations. Let's get started and take the first step in understanding how to effectively manage debt within your estate plan. Introduction to the concept of debt in estate planning. Debt is a crucial aspect to consider in estate planning, as it impacts how assets are distributed and can affect the financial legacy you leave behind. Understanding how debt factors into estate planning is essential to ensure that your wishes are carried out effectively and that your loved ones are not burdened with unnecessary financial obligations. Debt refers to money that is owed by an individual, typically in the form of loans, credit card balances, mortgages, or other financial obligations. When it comes to estate planning, it is important to take stock of all outstanding debts to determine how they will be handled after your passing. One key consideration is that debts do not simply disappear when a person dies. Instead, they become the responsibility of the deceased person's estate. This means that creditors may have a claim on the assets in the estate to settle any outstanding debts before the remaining assets can be distributed to beneficiaries. When creating an estate plan, it is important to account for any debts you may have and consider how they will be paid off. This may involve setting aside assets specifically to cover outstanding debts, or making arrangements for the sale of certain assets to generate the necessary funds. Additionally, it is important to be aware of the impact that debt can have on the inheritance you leave behind. If your estate is heavily burdened with debt, it may significantly reduce the amount of assets that can be distributed to your beneficiaries. This can be a particular concern if you wish to leave behind a substantial financial legacy for your loved ones. Understanding and addressing debt in estate planning is crucial for ensuring that your wishes are carried out effectively and that your loved ones are not left with unnecessary financial burdens. By considering how debt factors into your estate plan, you can help protect your assets and provide for your beneficiaries in the most effective way possible. Types of debt that can impact an estate. 1. Mortgage debt. One of the most common types of debt that can impact an estate is mortgage debt. If the deceased individual had a mortgage on their property, this debt would need to be settled from the assets of the estate before any beneficiaries can receive their inheritance. 2. Credit card debt. Credit card debt is another significant factor that can impact an estate. If the deceased had outstanding balances on their credit cards, these debts would need to be paid off using the assets of the estate. Failure to do so could result in creditors making claims against the estate. 3. Medical debt. Medical expenses can also contribute to debt that impacts an estate. If the deceased had outstanding medical bills at the time of their passing, these debts would need to be settled from the estate assets before any distributions can be made to beneficiaries. 4. Personal loans. Any outstanding personal loans taken out by the deceased can also impact the estate. These debts would need to be repaid using the assets of the estate, potentially reducing the amount available for distribution to beneficiaries. 5. Tax debt. Unpaid taxes owed by the deceased can also impact the estate. It is essential to settle any outstanding tax liabilities from the estate assets to avoid potential penalties and legal issues. 6. Business debt. If the deceased had any business interests or debts related to a business, these obligations would need to be addressed as part of the estate settlement process. Business debts can significantly impact the value of the estate and the distribution of assets to beneficiaries. 7. Student loans. In the case of a deceased individual with outstanding student loan debt, those loans may need to be settled from the estate assets. It is important to understand the terms of the student loans and how they should be handled in the estate planning process. Various types of debt can impact an estate and the distribution of assets to beneficiaries. It is crucial for individuals to address these debts in their estate planning to ensure a smooth settlement process and to protect the interests of their beneficiaries. Seeking professional advice from an estate planning attorney or financial advisor can help individuals navigate the complexities of dealing with debt in estate planning effectively. Importance of addressing and managing debt in estate planning. Addressing and managing debt is a crucial aspect of estate planning that should not be overlooked. Failing to consider debt when planning your estate can lead to various complications and unintended consequences for your loved ones. Here are some reasons why addressing and managing debt is important in estate planning. 1. Protecting your assets. When you pass away, your debts do not disappear. Your creditors may make claims against your estate to recover the money owed to them. By addressing and managing your debts in your estate plan, you can help protect your assets and ensure that your loved ones receive their intended inheritances. 2. Avoiding delays and disputes. Unresolved debts can lead to delays in the distribution of your assets to your beneficiaries. Addressing and managing debt in your estate plan can help avoid potential disputes among your heirs and streamline the probate process. 3. Minimizing tax consequences. Certain types of debt, such as mortgage debt or credit card debt, can have tax implications for your estate. By addressing and managing these debts in your estate plan, you can minimize the tax consequences for your beneficiaries. 4. Preserving your legacy. Debts left behind can tarnish your legacy and impact the financial well-being of your beneficiaries. By addressing and managing debt in your estate plan, you can preserve your legacy and ensure that your loved ones are not burdened with unnecessary financial obligations. 5. Ensuring financial security. Addressing and managing debt in your estate plan can help ensure the financial security of your beneficiaries. By creating a clear plan for dealing with your debts, you can provide peace of mind to your loved ones and help them navigate the complexities of managing your estate. Addressing and managing debt in estate planning is essential for protecting your assets, avoiding delays and disputes, minimizing tax consequences, preserving your legacy, and ensuring the financial security of your loved ones. Consulting with a financial advisor or estate planning attorney can help you develop a comprehensive plan that takes into account all aspects of your financial situation, including your debts. Common misconceptions about debt and estate planning. Dealing with debt and estate planning is a critical aspect that is often riddled with misconceptions. It is important to dispel these myths to ensure that individuals have a clear understanding of how debt can impact their estate planning. Here are some common misconceptions about debt and estate planning. 1. Misconception: debt disappears upon death. Many people believe that their debt will automatically disappear when they pass away. However, this is not the case. In most situations, the debt will be transferred to the deceased person's estate and must be settled before any assets can be distributed to beneficiaries. 2. Misconception: only the deceased person's assets can be used to settle debt. Some individuals mistakenly believe that creditors can only go after the assets owned by the deceased person to settle outstanding debts. In reality, creditors may also seek repayment from jointly owned assets or assets passing through beneficiary designations, such as life insurance policies or retirement accounts. 3. Misconception: estate planning can shield assets from creditors. While estate planning can help protect assets from certain risks, such as probate costs and estate taxes, it generally cannot shield assets from creditors if there are outstanding debts to be settled. Proper estate planning strategies can help minimize the impact of debt on an estate, but they cannot eliminate the obligation to repay creditors. 4. Misconception: co-signers are not responsible for the debt. It is a common misconception that co-signers are not responsible for the debt if the primary borrower passes away. However, in many cases, co-signers are legally obligated to repay the debt in full, even if the primary borrower is deceased. This can have significant implications for estate planning, especially if a co-signer is involved. 5. Misconception: debt does not affect inheritance. Some individuals believe that debts incurred by the deceased person have no impact on the inheritance received by beneficiaries. In reality, outstanding debts must be settled before any assets can be distributed to beneficiaries. This means that the amount of debt owed can reduce the value of the inheritance left to loved ones. Understanding the implications of debt on estate planning is crucial for creating a comprehensive and effective plan. By dispelling common misconceptions about debt and estate planning, individuals can make informed decisions to protect their assets and ensure a smooth transfer of wealth to future generations. As we wrap up this first video in our series on dealing with debt and estate planning, it's clear that understanding and managing debt is a vital part of creating a comprehensive estate plan. We've covered the basics of how debt impacts your estate, the different types of debt that can affect asset distribution, and why it's crucial to address these issues proactively. Remember, debt doesn't disappear when you do. It needs to be managed carefully to ensure that your assets are protected and your loved ones are not left with financial burdens. By incorporating debt management into your estate planning process, you can preserve your legacy and provide for your beneficiaries in the way you intend. In the upcoming videos, we'll dive deeper into specific strategies for handling debt within your estate plan, debunk common misconceptions, and provide practical advice to help you navigate this complex but essential aspect of estate planning. Thank you for joining us today, and be sure to stay tuned for the next video in this series.